Good morning. Welcome to Vic and Vern Sports Chat. I'm Vic and welcome to the Sports Daily Update Show, the daily sports update show, or the show that updates you daily on sports, whichever way you like it. And I'm flexible. As you can see, I'm on Mars today. I'm doing the planets lately. I'll be on some different planet tomorrow. At the end, I'm going to be on Cledacton. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm doing the planets today. I will introduce my home planet at the end of my run. About in 5-6 days time, I'll introduce my home planet. But it was Earth yesterday. No, it was the moon yesterday looking at Earth. Today it's Mars, you know. You know that saying, women come from Earth, men come from Mars, huh? And Vic comes from totally somewhere different. But hey, listen here. Big weekend of sports. And it started all yesterday already. And it's just getting bigger. I mean, we had two fantastic basketball games last night. Then I had the NFL this morning. We're going into the NPC in 51 minutes, in 59 minutes is the NPC semi-final starting. Then we got more basketball tonight. We got the Bulls playing against Connacht tonight. We got 4 URC games tomorrow. Then we got another NPC game tomorrow, and we've got Manchester United against Liverpool on Sunday, and then we have the Formula One roundup as well. So bloody hell, we're going to be busy. We are going to be busy. So instead of me talking shit, let's get into it. Topics: football, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, rugby, and cricket. If I'm a little bit bouncy, it's because in fact I'm deprived of sleep once again. But I love it. I love it. So let's get those topics out the way because we've got to plug this. Listen, you boys. 80 more. Oh, we almost made it. I thought we could have 99,000 this morning, but we down by 80 to get to 99,000. So keep on liking, voting, subscribing, sharing, spreading the word. Vic and Vern Sports like a virus, man. Once you've got it, you've got to stay with it, man. But it's a good virus. It's a good virus. It's the greatest virus ever. And if you have any recommendations, topics, anything you'd like to talk about, or if you would like to join one of these shows live, send us your email so that we can send you a link and then we can add you into the show. I mean, I'd love to have somebody like Lily B on the show in the morning, on a football show. She's a real savant. Let's see, or an Arsenal supporter, or even a Liverpool supporter on the weekend. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah? So enough of all that crap. Let's get into last night and the NFL, and it all started with the Steelers against the Bengals. What a game of football. What a game of football. It didn't start well, but it picked up, and it got more exciting, more tense. And the Bengals pulled it off with old man Joe. Yeah, look, the young quarterback, Joe Burrows, or also known as Cool Hand Joe, or Joe Cool, he's injured. So they brought in the old man, Joe Flacco, and he's Joe Mega Cool because he had a fantastic game yesterday. Had 3 touchdowns. He just played a phenomenal game. And you know what the good thing about that game was? These two boys, the starting quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers with a little Pittsburgh logo there, and Joe Flacco in the grey hoodie, with Nike on it. Okay, so then you know which one is which. Together they combined for 81 years of age. Not quite Vern's age, but 81. They combined for 81 years old. So that's the oldest matchup we've ever had in the history of the NFL between two quarterbacks. 81. Yeah. Well, I'm young, but that should make Vern feel young. He's just over 65, so he's not quite 81 yet. But it was an unbelievable game. I'm going to put the other games back up. And look, we're still going to have the Buccaneers Lions. Forgot to mention that. The Buccaneers Lions we're going to have on Monday night. So there's so much to get into. A lot of good games in the NFL this week. And I might do something on Sunday evening. We'll see what happens after the Man United against Liverpool game. We do not know quite yet. Our next, check this out. Vernon Ryan put out that Formula One US Grand Prix preview. I put out the name. They're making the Formula One great again. I think it's really hotting up now. I think, look, it's not been an exciting season. The races have been boring. The only thing that's exciting is actually the standings in the table. The racing itself hasn't been great, but let's see. And then Vernon, then they talk about these, what do they call that now? I call them new color schemes, but they've got a special word for it. I mean, fucking hell, the Formula One would come up with any shit. It's just called color scheme, specs, so I don't know what the hell it is. So there we go. NHL was out there last night too. There were 11 games. The last one is I didn't put it on there because they're still going on there, but it's the Penguins beat the Kings 4-2. The Hurricanes beat the Ducks. That's the Anaheim Ducks 4-1. The New York Rangers lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs 1-2. The Nashville Predators lost to the Montreal Canadiens 2-3. Vern's Kraken lose again. The Seattle Kraken, I'm sorry about that, Vern. Seattle Kraken lose to the Ottawa Senators 3-4. The Florida Panthers lose to the New Jersey Devils 1-3. So second loss in a row for the reigning champions. The Winnipeg Jets, they beat the Flyers 5-2. That's the Philadelphia Flyers. Colorado Avalanche, Avalanche came over the Columbus Blue Jackets because they lost 4-1. And the Oilers got beaten by the Islanders 2-4. That's the New York Islanders and the Edmonton Oilers. Because I see some boys are mentioning the islands. They're great from the loneliest island. Greetings from the loneliest island, says Kevin. I'm coming to visit you in St. Helena one day. There you go. Then, of course, Major League Baseball getting close to that World Series, and it's looking good for the Dodgers. They won 3-1 last night. They didn't lose 3-1 like I put it out there, dumbass. So the Dodgers are up 3-0. The Mariners lost to the Blue Jays 2-8. So that series is tied at 2-2. So that series seems to be going all the way, and the Dodgers could sweep the Brewers on Sunday. That next game is on Sunday. Then there were some games in the NBA. It's all preseason. Don't worry about it. Don't get too excited quite yet. I just think I was going to add it there to start warming us up, because next Wednesday it starts with a massive preview show on the NBA next Wednesday. There we go. So the Pelicans lost to the Magic 125-132. Let me give you the full names. The New Orleans Pelicans lost to the Orlando Magic. There you go. The Washington Wizards lost to the Detroit Pistons 98-119. The Houston Rockets beat the beat the Atlanta Hawks 113-115. You can see I've been doing this stuff on sleep deprivation. Then the Timberwolves, that's the Minnesota Timberwolves, lost to the Chicago Bulls 120-126. And the Portland Trailblazers lost to the Utah Jazz 129-132. And then we move on because the fifth round of the EuroLeague has started. Obviously, we had two games last night. Vern did Dubai against Barcelona. Dubai pulling off what I call a little bit of an upset there in the Coca-Cola Arena there in Dubai, 83-78. Zalgiris lost at home to Milano, surprise, surprise, 78-89. Fenerbahce Istanbul beat Bayern Munich 88-73, much needed win for Fenerbahce. And the game that I did, what a close one. Maccabi Tel Aviv losing in Belgrade, because that's their home games at the moment, because they do not play the games in Israel. 94-95 to Olympiacos Piraeus. Oh man, there's some Downton, he was fantastic. He had 6 of 7 3-pointers. Maccabi were up by 11 points with about 1 minute 50 to go, and then Mr. Vesnikov pulled off his show and he brought them straight back, and Olympiacos won. Tonight there are 6 games. Red Star against Real Madrid, live on this channel. Parallel to the to the Bulls against Connacht game. Of course, there's Anadolu Efes against Panathinaikos, Monaco against Valencia. Valencia spelled wrong. Jesus, what's wrong with me this morning? Villeurbanne, Bologna, Baskonia, Partizan, and Paris will take on Hapoel Tel Aviv. So lots to go for. I think some of those games are simultaneous. I'll kind of do like a conference watch along. Don't worry, we'll get all those results in there. Let's have a look at the European basketball table there. Real Madrid ahead of Paris, Hapoel Tel Aviv, Panathinaikos, Zalgiris, and Barcelona. Not everybody has played 5 games, so some teams can move up. But look, it's not looking good for Maccabi. After 5 games, they're 1-4, and we'll see. The top 10 make the playoffs. Remember, 6 go straight through, and 7 to 10 play against each other. But there's a long time to go. It's because you got to play 38 games, so don't worry. Plenty of time to go. Let me plug. That's our next game. Red Star Belgrade against Real Madrid. Should be a good one there in Belgrade. Belgrade getting a lot of basketball because you got Partizan, you got Red Star, and you've got Maccabi Tel Aviv all playing out of the same stadium. So that stadium's being used really well. Then there was football last night. It was the Champions League of the ladies. And my Manchester United girls are doing better than the boys. Must have been a feisty affair there. United actually with a red card in the 41st minute. And then the Atletico also had a red card. But United won their second game in the Champions League. They are 2-0. The first 2 ever games in the Champions League, they've won them both. So they're doing well. Bayern Munich beat Juventus 2-1. Arsenal ladies, the Arsenal ladies beat Benfica 2-0. Alexander Russo scored there. Ex-Man United, traitor. And then Real Madrid beat Paris Saint-Germain, ladies. So, yeah, looking good there. Champions League. Well, the minute it gets into the quarterfinals and stuff, we'll up those games. Then there was cricket. We'll go to more lady stuff. And Bangladesh and Australia faced off. Bangladesh scored 198 runs in their allotted 50 overs. And Australia only needed 24 overs to score 202 runs. So a good win there for the Aussies. So as we say, Aussies, oi, 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 up the Aussies. This is the table. Aussies out in front ahead of England, South Africa and India. Those would be the 4 teams that qualify for the semi-finals at the moment, but there are still a few games. You've got to play 7 games, and then after the 7 games, the top 4 teams will play the semi-finals. Then, as we were plugging in the rugby before, let's have a look. Yes, this morning, it's going to be Otago against the Bay of Plenty, and tomorrow morning it's going to be Hawke's Bay against Canterbury. Ignore me putting 9 o'clock in there because the game time has changed. It is 8 o'clock in 45 minutes. Join me for that one. Then in the URC, there are all those fixtures coming up. Of course, the Bulls and Connacht live tonight with Vern. On this channel, we're going to have the Scarlets and the Lions live, the Sharks and Ulster, Leinster, Munster, and Zebre against the Stormers. I will correct that for tomorrow. Don't worry. Let's have a look at that game. It is Connacht against the Bulls later on this evening at 8:30 in the evening with Vern. So be sure to join him for that. It should be an interesting game. Bulls got a strong lineup. I saw. Can they bounce back? They need a win now. You got to try to get some points away from home, which is important as well. Whew, that was the sports this morning. So I'm going to have a quick break, 45-minute break, and then I'm going to be here for the rugby. Let me plug that one again. There you go. Otago against the Bay of Plenty. The semi-final should be very exciting. Hope you guys join me for that, and I'll see you guys later. Be safe, be happy. See you later.